The story begins not in the past, but with its memory, at a memorial service in 1978 for a man named Harold Abrahams. An elderly Lord Andrew Lindsay stands to give the eulogy, his words painting a picture of a generation now faded. He speaks of famous men, of fathers and the glory of their times, and as he does, the scene dissolves into a vision of youth, vitality, and unbridled spirit. A group of young men, all dressed in white, run along a wind-swept beach. They are the British Olympic team of 1924, and their feet pound the wet sand in a rhythmic, determined beat. Among them are two figures who stand apart: Harold Abrahams, his face a mask of intense, almost pained concentration, and Eric Liddell, a stocky Scotsman running with an awkward, head-back style that seems to defy the laws of physics, yet propels him with incredible speed. This iconic image of shared purpose quickly splinters, taking us back to 1919, to the beginning of their individual journeys. A young, anxious Aubrey Montague arrives at Cambridge University, laden with luggage. He is immediately met by the confident, slightly abrasive Harold Abrahams, who helps him navigate the chaotic station platform. Harold is the son of a German Jewish financier, and from his first moments at Cambridge, he is acutely aware of his outsider status. He feels the cold reluctance in handshakes, the veiled condescension from the college porters who refer to him as a laddie and make snide remarks about his name. This simmering prejudice fuels a fire within him. He tells Aubrey his philosophy is simple. He can't stand getting beaten. His ambition is a weapon, a way to fight back against the establishment that looks down on him. Harold decides to take them all on, one by one, and run them off their feet. He announces his intention to attempt the legendary Trinity College Court Dash, a feat no one has accomplished in 700 years, to run around the quadrangle in the time it takes the clock to strike 12. Far away in Scotland, we meet Eric Liddell. His motivation is not born of anger, but of faith. The son of missionaries, Eric is a celebrated rugby player known as the Flying Scotsman. We see him speaking at a Highland Games, his words humble and sincere, his connection to his Scottish roots and his faith palpable. His sister, Jenny, watches with pride but also with concern. She worries that his growing fame as a runner will distract him from his true calling, returning to China for missionary work. For Eric, however, running is not a distraction from God, but a celebration of Him. "I believe God made me for a purpose," he later explains, "but He also made me fast. And when I run, I feel His pleasure." This deep conviction sets him on a path just as determined as Harold's, but one guided by a completely different compass. The first act culminates with Harold's audacious attempt at the Trinity Dash. The courtyard is filled with students, some cheering, others jeering at his perceived arrogance. As he prepares, he is joined by an unexpected challenger, the charming aristocrat Andrew Lindsay, who decides to run on a whim to help push his friend along. As the clock begins to chime, they're off. The race is a frantic, breathless sprint against time. Harold, driven by his desperate need to succeed, finds a devastating finishing burst, flinging himself across the line just as the final bell tolls. He has done the impossible, silencing the doubters and firing the first major shot in his war against the establishment. Harold's victory solidifies his reputation, but he soon faces a humbling defeat. In a race against Eric Liddell, he is soundly beaten. The loss shatters his confidence. He realizes that raw determination isn't enough. He needs a technical edge. This leads him to Sam Musabini, a professional coach of Italian and Arab descent, another outsider in the world of gentlemanly amateur athletics. Harold tells Musabini he needs to find another 2 yards of speed to beat Liddell. Musabini, recognizing Harold's immense drive, agrees to take him on, promising, "I can find you another 2 yards." Their partnership is controversial. The masters of Cambridge College, stuffy and steeped in tradition, confront Harold. They accuse him of adopting a professional approach, of pursuing individual glory at the expense of team spirit. To them, sport is for character building, not for the relentless pursuit of excellence. Harold defiantly defends himself. "I am a Cambridge man first and last," he declares. "What I have achieved, what I intend to achieve, is for my family, my university, and my country." He refuses to back down, choosing to carry the future with him rather than adhere to their archaic values. Under Museveni's tutelage, Harold's training becomes a science. He retrains his stride, perfects his form, and owns his nerves into a precision instrument. His life becomes a montage of relentless effort supported by his new love, the Gilbert and Sullivan singer Sybil, but driven by his singular goal. Meanwhile, Eric Liddell's fame continues to grow in Scotland. He combines his rhyming with his faith, holding evangelistic meetings after his athletic meets. His unorthodox style, head thrown back, arms pumping wildly, is contrasted with his serene belief that his talent is a divine gift. After a brutal 440-yard race where he is tripped and falls 25 yards behind, he gets up and, through sheer force of will, wins the race, leaving his friends and professional coach Sam Museveni in awe. He resolves his conflict with his sister Jenny by telling her he has decided to return to China as a missionary, but not before running in the upcoming Olympics. To give up running now, he explains, would be to hold God in contempt. His path is set. Both men are selected for the 1924 British Olympic team. The rising action reaches its peak on the boat to Paris. Amidst the celebration and camaraderie, a reporter casually mentions to Eric that his 100-meter heat is scheduled for Sunday. The news hits Eric like a thunderbolt. As a devout Christian, he observes the Sabbath strictly and refuses to run. The British Olympic officials, led by the formidable Lord Birkenhead, are thrown into a crisis. They see his refusal as a betrayal, a potential embarrassment on the world stage. They summon Eric to a meeting with the committee, which includes the Prince of Wales. They try to pressure him, appealing to his sense of duty and patriotism. "In my day it was king first and God after," one official scoffs. But Eric remains steadfast. "God made countries and God makes kings," he replies calmly. "Those laws say the Sabbath is his, and I, for one, intend to keep it his and his alone." He cannot be swayed, even when the Prince of Wales himself suggests that sacrifices must be made for loyalty to one's country. For Eric, his loyalty to God is absolute. Just when the situation seems hopeless, an elegant solution appears. Lord Andrew Lindsay, who has qualified for the 400-meter race, approaches the committee. Having already won a silver medal in the hurdles, he selflessly offers to give up his spot in the 400 meters so that Eric can run. The committee and the prince agree. Eric now has his chance to run, and Andrew has performed an act of true sportsmanship, embodying the very ideals the committee had accused Harold of abandoning. The climax unfolds at the Olympic Stadium in Paris. The day of the 100-meter final arrives. In the dressing room, the atmosphere is electric. Harold Abrahams finds a note from Sam Museveni, who, as a professional, is not allowed in the stadium. The note contains encouragement and a small good luck charm. Harold, isolated but intensely focused, walks out to face the American favorites, Charles Paddock and Jackson Schultz. He gun fires. Harold runs the race of his life, a perfect 10-second explosion of power and precision. He dips at the tape, winning the Olympic gold medal. Miles away, Sam Museveni listens to the anthem play, punching his hat in a private, tearful celebration of their shared victory. Days later, it is Eric Liddell's turn. He prepares for the 400-meter final, a race he is not favored to win. As he walks onto the track, he is approached by his American rival, Jackson Schultz. In a gesture of profound respect, Schultz hands him a small piece of paper. On it is a quote from the Bible. In the old book it says, "He that honors me, I will honor." Good luck. Visibly moved, Eric clasps the note in his hand. Oh! The gun fires. Eric runs with a fury and grace that mesmerizes the crowd. His head is thrown back, his arms churn, a picture of raw, untamed power. He doesn't just run, he flies. He crosses the finish line, winning the gold medal and setting a new world record in a stunning upset. In the stands, his sister Jenny and his friends celebrate, their faces filled with joy and wonder. Eric has run for the glory of God, and he has been rewarded. The team returns to London as heroes. Eric is lifted onto the shoulders of a cheering crowd. Harold, however, arrives on a later, emptier train. He is met not by a crowd, but by the two people who matter most, his mother and Sybil. He sees a newspaper placard declaring him the toast of England and smiles a sad, knowing smile. He has his victory, but the emptiness he felt before remains. His triumph, he realizes, was not the end of his journey, but simply a moment within it. The film returns to where it began, with the elderly Aubrey and Andy leaving Harold Abrahams's memorial service. They reflect on the man they knew, a man who was complicated and driven, who ran for reasons beyond simple victory. The final scene takes us back one last time to that beach, to the vision of those young men running together, their individual quests momentarily united in a shared moment of grace and effort. They run not just for medals or for glory, but for something deeper within themselves, a fire that time cannot extinguish. Their chariots of fire carry them into legend.ct. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay awesome, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more amazing content.